Good morning, Vibe Tribe. Happy Wednesday. Happy credit launch day for those who didn't notice that their credits may have launched yesterday. I know a bunch of us in Canada got them yesterday. So every day we start our day with gratitude. Remember, something that you're grateful for comes from the heart and it isn't always materialistic, right? So you want to start your day with an open heart, with love coming into your body and all those things you're regretting from the day before leaving us in Vibe Tribe News. It is credit launch day. It is also the second of the month. So you have a full month, you guys, and we still have the fall bonus going on. Ultimate Thriver has been announced, so make sure that you are sharing that to get lists ready for people coming because you guys want to make sure that you are ready for that. Because Ultimate Thriver, I know, changed my business last year, so I can only imagine what it's going to do this year. I think that's all the Vibe Tribe news. There's been no mysterious emails that I know of. So we have Miss Starla with us today. She is going to share some business trip tips and tricks because the month of November we are working on business. So Starla, I'm going to mute and let you take it away and take notes.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. It's exciting to be here. I was super honored when Melanie reached out and asked me to share on your Zoom this morning. It's 6 a.m. in Texas. And you guys, I've done this business for almost 9 years, and I do this full time. So I don't typically set my alarm. And I set my alarm for 5:30 this morning. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to take my capsules super fast because they have to kick in, before it's time for me to do this. I haven't even drank my shake yet. It's right here, ready to go. But I'm still excited. And thank y'all for getting me up and going extra early this morning because I have a lot of catching up to do. I've been doing a lot of traveling lately. It seems since the 10-year party, Lavelle's 10-year anniversary party. And then I had another trip, and then I just got back from Mexico, and then it was Halloween. So I can definitely use all the extra minutes in my day today that I'm going to have from getting up early to work my business. So I'm going to start with kind of just briefly sharing with you guys my story. And hopefully that will go into some business tips. I don't have anything specifically planned. Typically, I just share from the heart. This is my life. This is my world, minus my family. This is what I've breathed and lived every minute of every day for almost the last 9 years. So it's easy to talk about. I just talk about what I'm doing every day anyway. So 9 years ago, when I started, my friend Sheila Fasoni, you guys probably know Sheila Fasoni. She's direct to Maria Dillard. She was reaching out to me about this business. I knew both of them from a prior direct sales company, just a party planning company that we had all done for a little while, and we met that way. But the company sold out to a new CEO and basically just went under. So we all left there and were searching for things to do. I was in corporate America. I worked full time. It was not something I loved. I was an executive assistant. I was not passionate about it in any way. It literally was just going through the motions to bring home a paycheck to be able to pay the bills, to support our family budget. That's the reason that I was doing my job. Not that I wasn't good at it. It's not that I wasn't grateful for it. It was just, there was no purpose to it. So I was searching for another direct sales company. I always believed in this industry. I never really thought of it as life-changing income, although I knew it could happen for people. I'd heard stories of it happening for people. I just didn't really see it for me. But man, what a blessing it was just to have the little bit of extra, just $200 or $300 a month or $200 or $300 a week. It always varied. So when I wasn't with that company anymore, I really wanted to find something new. Plus, what a great way to meet people. The community of people in these types of businesses, which anyone I'd ever been a part of before, were nothing like Lavelle, but then I didn't know it. So I was kind of searching, but I was already involved in another one with Jen Ellis and Maria Dillard. So when Sheila started reaching out to me about Thrive, I was just like, oh, I'm not ready for another one. I don't want to be that girl. Like, how many things can I be involved in? I thought I was a very healthy person. I was fit. I worked out 4 or 5 times a week. I had a cabinet full of vitamins and supplements. Advocare was what I had my cabinets full of at the time, just because I did like to stay healthy, but I didn't keep up with it. It was too complicated. I felt really good anyway, just because I exercised and tried to eat clean. And again, I wasn't looking for another business opportunity at the time because I thought I was just kind of happy where I was. I was doing a skincare. So when she was reaching out, I was thanks, but no thanks. Happy for you. It took about 2 months. I was curious. I knew several people that had already joined her. I knew she was doing great. She had reached out to me, you guys, 16 times. I looked back probably a year later. I had 16 reach out messages from Sheila Fasoni about this business and about this product before I actually placed my order. So that's business tip number one. Be persistent and confident with what you have. I wasn't reaching out to her with, I mean, she wasn't reaching out to me with deals or promos. She was just reaching out to me, sharing a story or giving me an update on, updates of their story. She was still in the first 2 months of her Thrive experience. So she had things to share, updates, new things she was excited about, new people that she had gotten started and what it had done for them, someone else who had earned the VIP bonus. So she was just updating me on things going on in their body and in their business in those first, it was 2 months that she was reaching out to me, which she started reaching out to me immediately. Now, I will say, I knew in my mind she wanted me on her team. She really talked to me more about the product, but I knew, since I knew her from another business, she wanted me on her team. And that's what I was a little nervous about. But when we got down to it, it's free. Like, why would there's no obligations, there's no commitment. Why wouldn't I start as a promoter? So it was actually the day after Christmas. So December 26th is my 9-year Thriversary. My daughter was 21. She had been medically discharged from Marine Corps boot camp with a hip injury 9 months prior, I think it was. She had gained, some weight. Her hip still bothered her. She had gone back to college, which didn't make her happy. It's not what she wanted to do. And she was working full time as a bartender with an injured hip just to be able to pay her bills. So she was in a rough place. And the day after Christmas, she came over and said, "Okay, Mom, like, I need your help. What can I do? I'm ready to get to feeling better. I need to get back to me again." And it was like a light bulb went off in my head. And let me tell you why. Sheila had sent me a message the day before Christmas. It was fresh on my mind. It was fresh in my messenger. It was like right there. So when my daughter said that, a light bulb went off and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you need Thrive. Let's go look." So we went back through all those messages. We went to the links Sheila sent. We watched the video on the homepage. It's different than what it is now. And my daughter was like, "Yes, that sounds great. Let's do it." And I said, "Okay, well, you're a broke college student. I'm paying half your bills. If you order, you're ordering as a promoter because it's free. And if you like it and are going to continue, you're going to have to get it for free. Might as well earn some commissions on those referrals. And if you like it, share with other people." And she just was like, "Yeah, whatever." My daughter's personality is nothing like mine. There she is, by the way, right there in the red and up there. Um, so she was just like, "Yeah, whatever. I just want to feel better." So we ordered her a promoter pack. I ordered her a promoter pack. If you ever hear her story, she will tell you she has literally never paid for her Thrive because I paid for her first month and she's been thriving for free ever since. So I ordered her a promoter pack and then she turned to me and said, "Okay, well, you have to do it with me. I don't want to do it by myself." And it was kind of like in the back of my head, I was like, yes, now I have an excuse because I was curious and really wanting to try it. Well, now I kind of had an excuse to dip my toes in. So I ordered me a promoter pack, started January 2nd of that year, and it was game on. My husband says I was a 1 hour thriver, but I for sure was a day one thriver. By the time I had my hour commute to work, I was calling both of them. They were both still in bed. He was a college student as well at the time and a realtor, so he didn't wake up early. My daughter had bartended the night before. She didn't wake up early. And I was calling them just, "Oh my gosh, I feel good and I can't wait for y'all to thrive." And that I had gotten my husband Thrive as well. So we started on the same day. And y'all, I seriously haven't looked back. I had a pep in my step, really good mood, super productive that day. Wasn't really sure if it was Thrive, but I didn't care. I was excited. I worked at a bank. So going to the bank in the executive offices the day after a holiday is never fun. Everybody else was like bleh and not excited. And you're in that holiday slump after eating junk and all that stuff. I felt great. I felt really good. We started a new boot camp. I was like the energizer bunny at my workouts. Everything was taken to the next level. I have a bad knee that's given me trouble my whole life since I was a teenager. I danced all the way through college. And my knee was just shot. I was in my mid 40s when I started. I had learned what I could and could not do to keep my knee from swelling up like a softball. I was doing more in that boot camp than I had done in years. I was doing jumping jacks and jogging and lunges and squats and things that now I do on a daily basis and don't think twice about it. But back then I had to stop all that. And it's very hard to do a workout and not do some of those things. Sometimes I would do them anyway, and I just dealt with the inflammation, which causes discomfort, right? I mean, that causes a lot of people's discomfort. So that was gone. I still to this day have zero inflammation in my knee, and I'm running a half marathon next week. I couldn't run before Thrive. I couldn't run my whole life. I was never a runner. I couldn't do it. So it's allowed me to do things that I could never do before. Not only do I feel 15 years younger, but let me get back to my day 2, or day 5. I realized I hadn't had a single headache since the day that I started. That was huge. I had very frequent headaches. And remember, at the beginning, I said I was very healthy. I was a very healthy person. I had no major medical issues. I did not have any weight to lose. I'm a teeny tiny person. I had no weight to lose. So in my mind, I was healthy, but I had headaches frequently. I had a bad knee. I woke up exhausted in the morning and couldn't function until I went to the coffee pot. That wasn't happening anymore. I was totally forgetting about my coffee and I was craving water. So how many people do you know that fall into those categories? I immediately started going, oh my gosh, I'm ordering this again. I need to get it for free. Like I need 2 people. I need to get it for free. I wasn't thinking about being a Lavelle millionaire. I wasn't thinking about leaving my job. I was thinking about, wow, I feel amazing and want to continue to feel this way. I need to find 2 people. So I thought of, I was in my mid 40s, all the people I was friends with on Facebook that I went to high school with. Their bodies had to be feeling like mine was. I mean, yes, I still wore, a tiny size in clothes, but they didn't necessarily fit me exactly like I wanted anymore because I wasn't 20, I was 40. So I thought about all my friends from high school and I started reaching out to them. And then I posted something on Facebook and all the comments, I reached out to them individually and talked to them about what it was doing for me in the first few days. I thought about every person that I know or that I'd ever seen post, or I started paying attention to people's posts. How many people post about having a headache? People want home remedies. What can I do right now to get rid of this? You see it all the time. Well, I knew people that had headaches all the time. I reached out to them individually. Are you still having those headaches? Which is, by the way, what started Sheila's story. Sheila had headaches all the time. Maria knew that. Maria reached out. Hey, are you still having those headaches? Why, yes, I am. I think I found something that will help you. People that suffer from something like that will try anything. They've tried everything and they're willing to try anything that would possibly work. Who knew this would work? Who knew? Who knew there was something off in my body creating those headaches? If I knew all those years before that it was that easy, I would have started years before. I mean, it wasn't there, but people will try anything and be so grateful. That's why I will never stop Thrive, because my knee doesn't bother me anymore. My headaches are gone. I sleep like a baby. I wake up rested and ready to go. I mean, yes, my capsules kick in, but I don't wake up exhausted even before my capsules. I wake up alert. I don't wake up like a zombie like I did before. So think of people. Who do you know always has coffee or energy drink in their hand? Who says, don't talk to me till I have my coffee? Who has headaches? Who has a bad knee and they can't do the things that they used to love to do because their knee bothers them so bad? It doesn't have to be a knee. It could be a bad back, a bad shoulder, a bad hand. I met a couple in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. We owned a second property there. Thank you, Thrive. And I met some really cool people. And one of them, a couple's from Georgia, and he loved to play the guitar, and they were older. He couldn't play the guitar anymore because he had arthritis so bad in his hands that it hurt. So they started Thrive. He loves Move. He's playing the guitar again. Yes, he still has arthritis, but he can move again, and the inflammation is gone. So point of telling you guys all of that is from there, I got my 2. I have never paid for my personal order of the 3 steps again because I Thrive for free for almost 9 years, simply because I gained so much confidence just in what the product did for me that I shared with excitement, confidence, conviction that there's not a single body out there that doesn't need this in their life. Everybody needs the Thrive experience. I truly believe that. And I'm going to keep screaming it from the rooftops until the whole world is thriving. I mean, seriously, if I look on my Facebook right now, not everybody's thriving. If I go to the grocery store right now, there's very few patches in line with me at the grocery store. I still have a job to do. People are not thriving, and they should know about this. You think so, maybe because you look at your social media and you're like, oh, I've already talked to them, or oh, they've already ordered before, or oh, they're already thriving with me, or oh, they're already on so and so's team. Scroll past all that. Go to your Facebook friends list and scroll, start with A and go down to Z and get you a little notepad and write down people's names. Write down everyone. There's even tricks. You can make a little Facebook list that are, specific groups. Make a list of people not yet thriving with you, not yet. And start commenting on their things. Start interacting with them on social media instead of all the thrivers you already know. That's my problem. I have so many thrivers that interact with me, then I interact with them, and then that's all I see is thrivers. I have to dig. I have to really dig to find people that are not thriving yet on my social media, even just to interact with. So break the chains of the algorithms, start seeing the people that are not thriving with you yet, and then have that 100% confidence that people need thrive. Build the relationship. Don't scare them off being salesy. I'm sure y'all have heard that a million times. I won't go into that in the beginning. And if it's the beginning for you, I don't know. But in the beginning, I could reach out and say, have you heard about Thrive? Oh my gosh, it's rocked my world. You need this because of whatever you thought about them. I saw you wanted to lose 10 pounds. It was the beginning of the year for me when I started. So a lot of people were posting about New Year's resolutions and weight loss and all that stuff, or just wanting energy or their headache. Whatever it is, reach out to them specifically about them. Do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and don't do it just to get the numbers checked off. Do it with intention. Here's what I do in the mornings. I wake up in the mornings, usually later than this. I'm really an early bird. I'm probably awake without an alarm by 6, but this morning I had to set my alarm. So I'm going to give you a hard time about that. I wake up in the morning and I do my gratitude. I do my I am statements. I write down I am statements. I write down at least 5 things I'm grateful for. Trying to find a page. Here we go. I just write down I am. And I usually write down I am things like sometimes it's things that I feel right now. And then other times it's things that I know I need to work on. I need the universe or God or myself to speak those things into existence. So if I'm not feeling real confident one day, I'll write down that's the first thing. I am confident. I am grateful. I am blessed. I am strong. If I have like a hard workout coming up or like my half marathon, that morning I'm going to be writing down, I'm strong. I'm capable because I'm not a runner, never been a runner. I have to push myself. I challenge myself to do those things. I challenge myself in my Thrive business. So when I started, I was just so excited about what I had my hands on. I had to share. And then when you get a few people started, and you get back those stories or those text messages or those calls of them so excited and so grateful, let that fuel your fire. Let that fuel your fire. If you get 10 no's, that's okay. Go back and read the message of that girl that's so excited that you shared with them because they're playing with their kids after work again and they hadn't done that in years, or because they slept through the night for the first time since they could remember, or because they went a week without a headache. Go back to those messages and then go send more. Send more messages. Forget the no's and realize that the only reason they're saying no is because the timing's not right for them, or because they just don't know. They don't understand because they don't know what we know, and just keep tripping on them. Don't never message them again because they said no. Just keep having that interaction with them. Keep liking their posts, keep commenting, keep finding out what's going on in their world. One day they're going to post something and you're going to be able to say, hey, you remember when I was telling you about Thrive? I saw your post about being exhausted and not being able to get out of bed the last few days. This is what you need. Let me send you a sample or whatever you do. I don't love samples, but sometimes that's when I send a sample. If I've been reaching out, or they've acted interested, but they actually haven't placed an order, or they've interacted with me before and they're hanging on the fence, that's when I send the sample. And sometimes that's just the way to get your foot in the door with them. So I earned my Thrive for free. I ended up earning VIP 800. I did not get VIP 1600 in the beginning. I was so ecstatic that I had free Thrive come in, and I all of a sudden had a $600 bonus come in the bank. Like, that was crazy to me. I'd never seen a company that does that, free product and a $600 bonus in 2 weeks. And I could have done, can you imagine how blown my mind would have been if I'd have earned VIP 1600, but I didn't. And so don't count out, if you get new promoters on your team and they don't go hit VIP 1600 right away or miss VIP bonuses, don't count them out. My daughter is a Lavelle millionaire. She started when she was 21. She's now 30. She's a Lavelle millionaire and she didn't hit any VIP bonuses at all. She didn't hit them because she just needed to feel better. And in that 2 weeks, I'm out there because I felt it day one. She didn't feel it day one. It was more like day 10. So it took 2 weeks for her to even feel good. And then she started sharing because she saw what I was doing. So we both hit 4K and earned, back then it was an iPad mini, in our first 30 days. Our second month, we hit 12K, earned the auto bonus, and earned an all-inclusive trip to Cabo. That's what started the lifestyle getaway journey for us. Because once you're there and you experience it, you realize you need to be in that environment to grow, to thrive. You literally need to be in those kinds of environments to thrive. So go book for Thrive Palooza. We already have the dates. You can already book your hotel for that. Get in a room full of thrivers. No excuses. Just do it, because that's you investing back in your business. That's you investing back in your life and in your future. And you need to do it. Eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches if you have to, but be there. So that getaway changed everything. Actually, when I earned that getaway, that's when my husband, 12K, when you earn the auto bonus and a getaway. And I told him, he was like, wait, what? That's when he and I both realized this could get me out of that corporate job where I was miserable. I was miserable sitting behind a desk all day making money for someone else. Someone else was determining my future. Someone else was determining what I wore. Someone else was determining my vacation time, what time I could go to lunch, when I could take a lunch break. I mean, a bathroom break. Like, literally, I couldn't leave my desk until someone covered the phones. Like, someone else was in control of everything. And I remember going in for an evaluation, like when you go in for those annual, whatever they call it, I don't remember anymore, evaluation, to where they, analyze if you're doing a good job. Well, yeah, you're doing a good job, but they always nitpick, right? They always pull out something negative to say. I remember one time they told me I wasn't dressing professional enough for the office. And I'm like, I sit behind a desk in the corner. Nobody sees me except for, but I was dressing professional, FYI. I was wearing my little heels and my slacks and my jackets and all that stuff. But they just nitpick. And then that's what they determine whether you're eligible for a raise or not. I'm like, someone else is determining how much I'm worth. So 6 months into my Thrive experience, I was red-legged, extremely red-legged. I was working towards 40K, and I had another team jump in that was on fire, and they were exploding, and we were growing, and I walked away from that corporate job. And I remember thinking, I can always get another job if I need to. But if I could do what I've done with this company already, working this part-time, imagine what I could do working it full-time. So I took the leap of faith. I walked away from my job. My boss, I'll never forget the look on his face. He was stunned that I was walking away from my executive assistant position to do a direct sales company. And I was like, have you not seen my Cadillac in the parking garage? No, he hadn't noticed my Cadillac in the parking garage because they don't notice anything. They don't care what's going on outside of those four walls. And I wanted to be around people that care about everything I'm doing all the time. I want to make an impact. And I will tell you, that same month, I hit 40K and 80K in the same month. And then we hit 200K in month 13. And I have never looked back. We have grown. I made it a goal. Okay, well, after 200, it was 300. After 300, it was 400. Like, I haven't hit all those goals, but that was my goal. Or always move forward. So if your volume is 3,600 one month, make sure it's 3,650 or more the next month. You don't have to necessarily hit a new rank every month. I mean, it's hard to hit a new rank every month. Back in the beginning, I thought that was the thing. And then I hit 12K and then didn't hit 4K right away. And I was like, oh crap. Well, not everybody's going to grow that fast. So not everybody's going to rank up that fast. So you definitely want to always make sure you're moving forward. Do a little bit more than you did yesterday. Grow your business a little bit more in November than you did in October. Baby goals are just as good as big goals as long as you're moving forward in your business. So that's what I was doing when I was stuck with that red leg. By the way, I'm no longer red leg. Then I got that team that got me to 40K and 80K started outgrowing the original team that had me red legged. And then there were months I was red legged with that team instead of the other team. So it's a good thing that I didn't let that one strong team that had me red legged hold me back. Because a lot of people crawl in a hole if they're red legged. And if you don't know what red legged is, I'm sorry. It just means you have a strong leg that you can't rank because they're more volume than your 60%. And a lot of people have that and then they get frustrated. So I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I feel like my story kind of tells the track record of how I've gotten to where I am and what you need to do. So basically what I did in the very beginning, when I was working full time, I did probably like a lot of you are doing. I worked this in the nooks and crannies of my day. I woke up in the morning and early enough to be able to do my reach outs and do my follow-ups before I ever left for work. And then on my lunch break, I had lunch in my car instead of going out with my coworkers or having lunch in the break room. I went to my car so I could go back and send messages and follow up on messages. And then I scheduled three-way calls. Sometimes I did three-way calls in the car. If my team needed a three-way call, I would walk away from my desk, go out to the parking garage and do a quick call. I would tell everyone else I was in the restroom, but I was doing a three-way call and then I'd go back to my desk. But on the way home from work, I had an hour commute. So I would be on my phone. I would usually connect a three-way call, introduce them to Maria or Sheila, mute my phone, and I'm driving while I'm listening to them talk. And that's how I learned. That's how I learned everything that I know and everything I know to say simply by listening to my upline leaders on three-way calls. Every single call that happened while I was at work, I got the app Tape a Call. If y'all don't have the Tape a Call app, you need to get it, because if I ever miss any call to this day, actually, whether I miss it or not, I tape that thing. And what I would do is I would dial into the call, I would add in tape a call, I would hit record, and I would drop it back in my purse because I was at my desk working. And then on my lunch break or on the way home, I was listening to those recordings. Now I listen to all the recordings. If I miss a Zoom, I find the recording. because I need that. That's how you learn and that's how you grow. So plugging in, I don't miss anything. I plug in. I know I read every email that comes through. I watch every company update, every notification that comes through on my Upline Leaders team pages. And then I repeat it onto my team page and I tag all of my team. Plugging in is huge. And that's the way you be a good leader too, is you expect automatically that your team is going to be watching for these things. They're going to know what's going on because they're paying attention. You're not going to baby them. You're going to show them where to find the answer. And that's how you do it, by tagging on the team pages. That's huge. Plugging in, being consistent, being super, super confident. And the last tip I'm going to give you guys, persistence goes in with confidence. You're going to be persistent in your reach outs if you're confident in what you have to offer. But the last tip I'm going to give you guys is, and I'm going to repeat this probably every call I'm on for the rest of my life. I always say it anyway, but now I'm going to make a point, because when I was in Mexico, I had someone from a sideline team, not anywhere underneath Mario's umbrella, that said she heard me on a call, and I changed everything for her because I simply told her, wake up every morning and pray over your business. Pray over your business. Pray for the right people. Pray for God to bring you the people that need what you have. Pray for them to bring you the people that need you, that need the Thrive experience in their life, whether it's the product or the community. So I said this on a call because that's what I do. And it makes all the difference in the world, because you know what else that's going to do? When you know God's on your side, that's where your confidence is going to come from. If you just are like, I have no idea who I'm going to reach out today, but then you say that prayer, you're not going to worry about who you're going to reach out today anymore, because you know God's got this. But she said, when she heard me on that call, she was in a slump. Like she had, kind of reached her bonuses or hit her rank or whatever. And then things had slowed down and she just couldn't get any orders in for however many days or weeks. And she just was in a slump. And I told her to do that. And that night, I do it in the morning because that's how I start my day, with my gratitude and my I ams and all that. But she does it at night when she laid down for bed. And the next morning, she said her messenger was blowing up with people wanting to thrive. And she got 17 samples out that very next day. Y'all, that's crazy. So that's always what I'm going to tell people now. I do it anyway, but I don't always say it on a Zoom. But I do think that's the number one thing that you can do for your life and for your business. Pray for yourself. Pray for yourself to be the best leader that you can be. Pray for the next thriver. Pray for the words to say. That's what I prayed for this morning. The words to say that someone needed to hear today, because I wanted to bring value to you guys. I'm happy to start my day with y'all, because this lights my fire. This has already started my day on a good path. And so I'm grateful to y'all for that. Melanie, I'm gonna let you just ask. I don't even know how long y'all stay on here. I could go on and on and on. I feel like I barely just cracked the surface of what I could say
We
today.
normally do 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
So if you want to keep talking, you're more than welcome. It's only 7:35, so have at her.
Okay.
If
Do you have
anyone
any
has any,
questions so far?
yeah, does anyone have any questions? Because I know like my notes are like, yeah, it's gonna be interesting because now I'm gonna be like hitting those bonuses. Katrina, you look like you're going on mute, babe.
I'm trying to think of, I know that there's something that I should be asking. Hannah's
Ask
probably
away.
laughing. She's like, Katrina has to have a question. She always does.
That's funny.
But I guess, for me personally, I'm 110% transparent with my people in my team. Like, I did not re-rank to 4K last month. And that is the first month for me personally that I haven't since I hit it. Now, what are some of the people like further down in your team doing daily to, I know the 5 4 3 2 1. What are maybe some of the other things that they might be doing daily to, um, I guess, like talk to people or bring in new people?
Okay. I think definitely the 5 4 3 2 1 is invaluable for our team. Have y'all seen it in the cloud office yet? Okay. I actually haven't even utilized that tool yet. I've seen it, but I haven't. I've literally probably been traveling most of the days since that's been on there, and I haven't just dug into it. But I think that's going to be a good tool. And I know y'all get sick of hearing 5 4 3 2 1. But if you're not doing 5 4 3 2 1 or something similar, here's the deal. Don't get caught up in the numbers. I mean, if you do 10 reach outs and no follow-ups, it's still 5 4 3 2 1. You're still talking to 10 people about Thrive. Or if you do 10 follow-ups and no new reach outs because that's where your list has gotten you, that's okay. Don't get caught up on that. The point is do something every day. So I will say being intentional with your reach outs is going to be huge. So think about before you just send the message to the name that you've chosen, think about why they need Thrive. Why are you reaching out to them? Is it just another name that you just need to get another number to say you've done 5 4 3 2 1? No, you need to think about and go look at their social media. What are they posting about? Are they like working out every day and doing things with their kids all the time and they're not complaining about nothing? If that's the case, then you need to talk about like muscle recovery and muscle development because they're already like got the energy, they're showing up, they're doing the things. But then if it's a mom that's just like, oh my gosh, the kids have this and this and this and this, reach out to them about being a tired mom. Like just be very intentional and honestly pray for that person before you ever send them the message. And I'm not going to be your preacher here, but I'm thinking specifically about Betty Shelton. I don't know if y'all know Betty Shelton, but she's the wife of country music star legend from the 80s, Ricky Van Shelton. She's on my team. She's amazing, y'all. She's always on the top of my team PPA. She's hit 80K before, but more 12K or 40K regularly. She earns every VIP event on every getaway. This tip is from her. Like rather than just doing 5 4 3 2 1, I started being in this. She learned it from a Zoom. I started being intentional about who I was reaching out to and about the message I was sending rather than just sending the same copy and paste message to every single person. So being intentional is going to be huge. Doing your reach outs and follow-ups every day, no matter what. Paying attention to what you're posting on social media. You don't want to, and I am not a social media guru. I'm not great at it. But I'm consistent. You don't want to just be posting company graphics all the time. You want them to see your face. If you get in a slump and you need to change things up a little bit, do something a little bit different. So if you haven't gone live in a while sharing your story, go live sharing your story and don't talk for 20 minutes. Talk for 6 or 7 minutes. Make it short enough that people can actually listen to your story. Keep it brief and exciting. Don't say, well, back when I started my Thrive, you got to be excited, like make them excited. Like I need what she has. So, and if you have gone live, I haven't gone live in a while, but I haven't really felt like I needed to change anything up. I've been doing okay. So if I get in a slump, I'm going to go live and then I'm going to interview someone else on a live. Get someone else that has a totally different story. I'm gonna get a young mom. My kids are grown. I'm a grandma. So my story is going to interact with someone who's an empty nester. Well, then I'm going to share someone's story that's, a stay-at-home mom of 3 that this, has her earning extra income and going on trips and running circles around her kids. I want people to hear her story. So that's some tips on how you can change things up. For me, I grew my business on locals. So if I was ever in a slump, I planned a local. I put some locals on my calendar. Do a vendor event. Pop a booth up at a vendor event if you need to change things up. So there was something I was going to say when you asked this question about what they were doing differently. Oh, I know what. 3-way chats or 3-way calls. Do y'all do that? Okay, do not ever, 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 ever let an order go in of any kind. If someone's going to order as customer or a promoter, you do not let that order go in unless they go order without telling you. Do not let an order go in without a three-way chat or a three-way call with an upline first. You know why? It's not because they're not ready to order. It's not because you can't get them to order. You can close the sale because you're a badass. You can do it. You're awesome. But you don't want to be the one doing it, because what if that order is your next 200K? What if they love Thrive so much they click the promoter button and they start running for bonuses and they fly through all the ranks like the biggest rock star in Lavelle, because they're out there. There are rock stars that blow this thing up and all of a sudden out of nowhere become the fastest growing team in this company. Well, there's people out there that aren't there yet. They said it at the getaway that, what if the most explosive team in Lavelle isn't even in Lavelle yet? What if you're the one that recruits them? What if you're the one that brings in that person that's about to explode this business, and you brought them in and let them order by doing all the talking yourself, and you didn't even put them through the funnel? You didn't even put them in on a three-way call or a three-way chat and show them how to be successful here. If you're not showing them how to be successful right off the bat, you've already failed them as their leader. So I will tell you, three-way calls and three-way chats. And the other reason is, and this is what my team's doing, by the way, this is an answer to your question. This is what they're doing. The other reason why it's important is because it paints the picture of possibility, and it allows them to hear from someone else who it helps with people who aren't yet quite ready to order. They're interested, but maybe still need. So hearing from someone else other than you gives them another story. And I always say an upline leader, 12K or higher. The reason I say that, because a 12K is going to have been on so many calls or done so many three-way chats, the verbiage is going to roll off their tongue easier, and they already have that story of physical and financial success that someone else might need to hear. But it's really just the confidence that comes from having done so many. So that's what my team is doing that are hitting ranks. Also just, again, showing up. The people with the top PPA on my team are on these team Zooms. They're the ones that are on Sheila's Saturday morning leadership call. They're the ones that are on our Monday morning Mashup Monday Zooms every week. They're the ones that are showing up in our customer group and are interacting. They're the ones that are adding people to the customer group. They're the ones inviting people to the Lavelle fan page. I mean, they are the ones that are actually showing up and taking action in this business, and not just listening and then not putting any action to it. They're the ones actually doing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're the ones actually posting consistently in their stories and on their social media. There are people all the time that'll reach out and say, well, I just can't give this stuff away. Keep on, because everything happens in, Jason Camper used to say 60 and 90 days in arrears. So the work you're doing today is going to pay off in 60 days. It doesn't necessarily take 60 days, but if you're doing the work every day, even if you haven't had an order go in a week or two or 30 days, you're going to have 8 orders go in this month because you were in a slump in October. Does that make sense? All right, what else?
Anybody else? Anyone else? Hannah, Gerald, Anna, Melinda. I know you're at work. Melinda drives every morning to work on these Zooms, so we all know that she 9 times out of 10 can't unmute.
Yeah, I saw someone driving.
What about? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is just on my mind since we got back from Mexico. Actually, before going into Mexico, y'all utilize everything that Lavelle throws out at us. So, for instance, any orders that go in this month new orders is definitely going to be qualifying you for the next trip. It's definitely going to be counting for the bonuses, right? The 4,000, 12,000, 40,000, all those bonuses. It's going to be helping you earn free Thrive. It's going to be helping you rank or re-rank. So don't just say, well, okay, so they launched Miami and they said it's only going to be for the first 200 people. By the way, it's 200 to 400. They haven't made a decision on how many yet. They said that in Mexico. So it's just going to be a smaller, more elite. But quite honestly, the Mexico getaway was for 750, and I think there were 300 qualifiers there. So basically the same size Mexico just was is what Miami's going to be. They just want it to be a smaller group for people to interact better and it be more of an elite, like they said, yacht dinners and things like that. So don't count yourself out for any of those things. We're all on an even playing field right now. I don't have a tracker up. I probably have 0 towards the getaway right now. So if you have 0, I'm right there with you. We're in this together. If I can do it, you can do it. So don't count yourself out, but that's what excites me is that, and that's what you always, like for instance, the triple commission promo that just happened. I got in 2 new promoters on that, brand new promoters, people who hadn't thrived yet. And I knew, well, if October is qualifying month for the trip, it earned me triple commission. It may or may not have been trip qualifier. I don't know yet, probably not. And it counted towards my $4,000 bonus, which I haven't yet earned yet, but I'm gonna. So add on, take advantage of all those things to maximize the rewards that Lavelle gives you here. Do you still have Zoom on Monday morning? Anna, we combined our Monday Zooms to one time at 11:30 and called it Mashup Mondays. So Susan and I host together. It's at 11:30 and it's on Susan's Zoom link, which we post on. Are y'all under Maria's team? Are y'all in Maria's
There's
umbrella?
a mix of people on right now.
Okay, so what team page? I posted on
Dream Team mainly, I believe. Katrina, you would know better than me.
Yeah, I think mostly under Lisa K. Fuller, Dream Team, and under Chaz. And I think and then Amber. Yeah.
Yeah, so are y'all on Team Thrive Nation on that team page?
I don't think everybody is.
Yeah, I am, but
yeah.
Okay, so Melanie, if you are, every Sunday night or Monday morning, it's posted on Team Thrive Nation. Okay. You can relay it to the other team pages.
Yep.
Okay, just relay it to the. So once you have the graphic, and I can send it to you, Melanie, it's the exact same Zoom link every Monday at 11:30.
Okay. Yeah, I will relay it to the team pages. I'll send it to Katrina because I can't post on Dream Team page, but she can. Okay. So we'll just share it out.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
One question I do have for you, Starla, now that you've been in the business for 9 years, are you finding it hard to find new people, or are you still doing what you did back in the basics?
Yes and no, or yes and yes. Yes, it is harder to find new people because my warm market, I can't reach out to someone right now and say, have you heard of Thrive? Like I did in the beginning. Like that was just so easy to open the door of the conversation. I can't say that now because obviously they know I thrive. Whether they've tried it yet or not is a different story. And there are a lot of people that I know that, still aren't ready to thrive or still aren't interested, and that's okay. I am just constantly networking with new people. So my PPA always stays pretty consistent because I make it stay consistent. Like I said earlier, if you have to change it up, just be doing some, but when I say change it up, I do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm doing my daily consistent. You want to show up in your stories all the time. You want to show up on your timeline all the time. You want to be doing personal, messages and reach outs. I make sure I post in my customer group. I make sure I post in my team page. Like, those things get a little more complex when you have a bigger team, but I'm still doing my daily stuff. But when I say shake it up and do things differently, it means add on something that you haven't done in a while, like plan a local. Plan a local. If you haven't done a local, plan one. Get one on the calendar this month. It doesn't have to be big. My business started with doing happy hours after work with me and my daughter just sitting around the table telling people what Thrive was doing for us. We didn't stand up and, have certain speakers and have a 200K leader. We did it as a 4K, and we did them every couple weeks, and then they grew. We'd have 2 people show up, and then we had 10 people show up, and then we were like, whoa, maybe we should do this a little more professionally. And we'd have 20 people show up, and then we had 200 or 300 people show up. Like, we just started doing them. That just got the word out. It was fun. Everybody loves a happy hour, right? So throw in a local if you need to. Do the lives, do interview someone, share stories from the fan page, like whatever you have to do to add in a little something different than what you're doing now. And then things will start growing. You'll get people. So mainly I just make sure I'm networking outside of people that I already know. During COVID, that was really hard because I don't love groups. It's just hard to connect with people in groups for me. I like the more face-to-face, belly-to-belly. So I go to women's networking groups, or my husband and I'll go out to eat dinner and we sit at the bar and we talk to people next to us instead of just at a table by ourselves. That we just find ways to meet people that way. And then I find ways to friend them on Facebook or Instagram, so that then they start seeing my Thrive things and I can continue the conversation once I meet them. So I hope that answers your question.
Oh, it 100% does.
Okay, good. Good.
I'm actually doing my first vendor event in 2 weeks' time because Katrina finally talked me into doing one.
Okay, so let me tell you about that, because I do talk about vendor events because it's a way to change things up. Here's the thing. If nothing else, you're going to have a lot of people. You're going to do your little register to win thing, because you want people's names and email to be able to follow up with them. I have a little checklist on mine. I wish I had one. I do have one right here. I have a little checklist that says, what do you need? Weight management, relief from aches and discomforts, digestive support, immune support, energy. I can send you this.
That would be amazing.
So, and a lot of times they'll go, oh, I need all of the above. And I'm like, well, just write it on, click them all, click them all, check them all. So then I know, wow, they really wanted all the things. And I write little notes on it when they come by. But okay, so you're doing it for free accounts. Very rarely does someone order on the spot. However, I have learned to have my little sample boxes, the samples, the boxes now that they send. I usually just have a little stack of them, and I say it's a show special. If you order today, you get to take home 5 days for free to go ahead and get started tomorrow. So that has helped people actually order on the spot, especially at bridal shows, which are bigger. But a vendor event is to, at the very least, you're out there talking about Thrive. You're realizing by all those people that you're talking to, how many people have never heard of Thrive. So it's going to be a realization for you. And you're going to take the picture of yourself with your little setup, and it's going to go on social media. Your team is going to see you as a leader. That's another way to get your name with Thrive out there on social media for people to see. People not thriving with you yet are going to look at it and say, whoa, what is she doing? Oh, wow, she's doing a booth with Thrive. That may open a door of conversation. But let me tell y'all this story. This is why I do vendor events. And I have a story. So way back when I was 12K pushing for 40K with my red leg, we lived in San Antonio. My husband, myself, and my daughter had all earned the auto bonus. And I found a little market day to set up. It was a little town right outside of San Antonio, and they do a monthly market day. And it wasn't expensive. So I signed up for a booth. It was July or August. It was hot in Texas. And we set up our little booth. And I think it was the second month that I did that. I hate vendor events. At the time, I really hated them because if people aren't looking, like I want people to come over and say, oh, what do you have? And ask me questions, and then I can talk. I don't want to drag them over. I don't want to be that one that they're like, oh God, I hope they don't talk to me. You know what I mean? But my husband's great with that. So he would be there and he would be like, hey, have you heard of Thrive before? Come on over. We're giving a getaway. I mean, giving a giveaway. And he would get them to the table. And then once he gets them to the table, have you ever heard of Thrive? No. And then I took over. I could tell them all the things about Thrive and get them to fill out the paperwork and get them all excited. It was just getting them to the table. So we were there. My husband was with me. So he was getting people over to the table. Well, it was the end of the day. We were hot. We were tired. And I had this lady go by. She was pushing a stroller. She had kids running around the stroller. I don't remember this, but when she tells her story, the kid in the stroller had a sucker in his hair. She was hot. And she, went by and we were like, have you ever heard of Thrive? And she was like, no, thanks. And she kept going. And I yelled and I said, tired mamas love it. And she stopped and she backed that stroller up and she was like, what'd you say? Tired mamas love it. Seriously, you're going to love this stuff. And she was very fit. She was actually, come to find out, she was training for a 200-mile race. She was super fit. She had her supplements. She had her routine. She was not looking for nutrition, but she was a military wife and she was broke. She was just getting the kids out of the house. The reason she went by the booth without stopping is because she had no money to spend on anything anyway. She was only there to get the kids out of the house. So what really caught her attention and us explaining everything is that we had all three earned the auto bonus. My daughter was there too. And that you could get free products and you could earn a weekly income from home with this business. I was sharing about the product. I didn't know that she was broke. So I filled out the little thing. I friended her on Facebook immediately right then. I invited her to the Lavelle fan page and I slapped a sticker on her arm. That's what we call it, sticker. Slapped a DFT on her arm. And then she went home and by the end of the day, she felt extra energy. She was sweeping her floor. She was mopping. She was baking brownies for the kids. Like she was doing things that she had not felt like. She was a pot of coffee every morning kind of person. She was fit and healthy, but she was living on coffee. So by that Sunday or Monday, she messaged me before I had ever gotten a chance to enter all my free accounts and message her. And she was like, been thinking about you guys. So I put her through the funnel. What did I do? And this is why I say you have to do three-way calls because you never know who your next 200K is. I created her a free account. I had already invited her to the fan page. I got her on a three-way call with an upline leader. I then invited her to, she wanted a sample. So I took her a sample on Monday. She and her husband did like a 4-day sample. By the end of the 4 days, she was feeling incredible. She wanted to buy another 4 days from me just to be sure. I let her do that. I invited her to a local because we had one there that next week. Because see, I had a vendor event planned this week and then I had a local. I just tried to every week or two, I had something on my calendar. Even though I was red-legged. And then at that local, she went home in tears, like just crying because she felt it. Like she was so moved by the stories. She bought a $400 pack on a credit card because she was broke. She had to get those bonuses. She hit VIP 1600 to pay back her credit card. She felt incredible. She had free product coming. And y'all, she is my only personally enrolled Lavelle millionaire. It's Laura Seaprish. And she went 200K in about 10 months. She's from Georgia. So she ended up getting a team growing in Georgia, had several 200Ks on that team. She is a Lavelle millionaire and I met her at a vendor event. It only takes one. Now, do I have anybody else that's hit a major rank from a vendor event in the 8 years since then? No, but her team is the one that got me out of the red and why I hit 40K and 80K in the same month. That month, I actually finished at 132,000, I think.
Holy. All I could say is wow. I'm very excited for my vendor event now. Thanks. Like
Yes.
maybe it'll happen.
At the very least, you're getting free accounts. That'll be now your follow-up list.
Yeah.
And however you get them from there, just put them through the funnel. When they're interested in responding, get them in a three-way chat. If they need a sample, get them a sample. I'm not the product of a sample, so I don't sample unless I have to. I sample when needed, but I don't just throw samples around like confetti because I didn't get a sample. I ordered as a promoter with Sheila never offered me a sample. Had she offered me a sample, I would have ordered. Had she offered my daughter a sample, she never would have ordered because she wouldn't have felt it in 3 days. I was Wonder Woman in 3 days.
I am super. So I have lists, like I'm out in my desk area. Everybody's moving around in my house. So
Yes.
um I've been doing vendor events for over a year consistently. I would say 1 to 2 a month. So now I'm going to do probably the things, let's face it, nobody can honestly say that they do every single thing that they should every single day.
Right.
Nope. Let's just be honest. Nobody can. Or maybe they can. And, maybe they're one of the special ones, but I need to get my lists out. I need to go down through them, see where I left off with messages because, we all have life that happens. And I know that I personally have a lot going on. So I need to really, I've met these people face to face. I've talked to them. They all enjoyed talking to me and meeting me. So I need to really focus on that area. And I appreciate you, and it's not because, it's not even about necessarily that the next one could be my next 200K. Yes, that's a goal, but even just ordering as a customer, right? Because we're at the beginning of the month, 2 ordering customers to thrive for free. And then I'll bump up 2 promoters, and those are how I run my months, my goals and stuff. So it really just motivates me to get my lists out, really focus on that. And really, there's a reason that I've been doing them. I need to pour all of my attention into that spot. Like if that's how I'm going to, grow. I don't do well in groups either on Facebook. I join them and I do okay. I don't do well in them either. It's just, I feel like some of the groups are personal and I don't feel comfortable bringing some of the other stuff up. Yeah. If they friend me on Facebook, then they can see my posts and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the idea. Yeah.
Thank you so much for just that. Like, I just feel like that was my push, my gentle push to, I've got these lists, I've got stuff. Why am I not, going to the next level?
Well, I think the important thing and the point of me saying they could be your next 200K, treat them like that. Like you're not bringing them in just to be a business, a promoter with you, but what if? So for you to be a good leader and set your team up for success and create other leaders, that's the whole game here. The whole game is to bring in people that will then turn around and be an incredible leader. You need to build leaders. So to do that, you have to set them up for success. To set them up for success, because you never know who's going to be your next rock star promoter. You've got to put them through the funnel. You've got to plug them into the important things. So put them on the three-way call or the three-way chat, invite them to the fan page, invite them to your customer group. If they become a promoter, you want to immediately put them on a welcome call. You want to be following up to see who they've reached out to. Who can we talk to today? What questions can I answer for you? If there's a welcome video or a welcome post on your team page, you want to tag them there. Make sure they see it. Make sure they know to add people to your customer group. Like just show them the way as it falls through. If they're just a customer, then you keep your follow-ups. Still encourage them. Maybe your customer just wants to thrive for free. Well, that's 2 more PPA and 2 more customers for you. So make sure you're reaching out to them. Make sure you're following up. Make sure you're giving them good customer service. Make sure you're encouraging them. Make sure you're doing the work for them. If they don't know the verbiage to post, you type it out for them. So I think that's the point. It's just if you're being a good leader and doing your job and putting them through the funnel, whichever way it needs to go, then you're setting yourself up for success by creating those leaders. So that's good. I'm glad you have a plan of action, Katrina. I will say, I'll say this real quick before we get off. These are my notes from the leadership meeting in Mexico, which actually there's a Zoom tonight with some 200K leaders that are going to do a Zoom going over what we talked about in the leadership meeting. But I'll give y'all a sneak peek. He talked about technical and emotional. Jason Camper did. And on emotional, these are the notes I wrote down. He said, it's very important that you work on you. And that can go many, many ways. Personal development, leadership Zooms, learning, growing, but also working on you physically. You know, physically, emotionally, professionally, it kind of all rolls into one if you're working on yourself. So you know, whether it's exercise and taking care of your body, taking the 3 steps correctly, adding in plus line products that you need to, dropping a little extra weight, anything, whatever you need to do to work on you first. And then would you follow you? If you go look at your social media, are you someone you would want to follow? Are you someone you would want to do business with? Are you driving people crazy? Are you annoying? Are you boring? Like you want to be someone you would want to do business with. That's what you want to portray yourself as, because whatever you put out there is what you attract. And I literally have written down, be a badass to attract a badass. So I guess he said that. And then appreciate and love on your team. The more appreciation and love you show to the people already thriving with you, the better you're going to be as a leader as well. That's straight from Jason Camper's mouth.
Well, I don't know where else to end that. If that's straight from God, good Lord. Who knows what this month is going to hold, you guys. So
that's right.
Starla, thank you so very much for jumping on with us today. This meant the world to all of us, and I know we all got great notes. Guys, we're going to get this recording up as soon as I possibly can. I do got to run, though. I have to go to work on the other computer in the other side of the room. So have a great day, you guys. And remember, use your tips and start implementing them now. Thank you, Starla.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.